Welcome to the Verdin Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin. Today we have another LSU football spring practice highlight video for you. We're going to start things off with the no defense drill. We got the offense out there. You got Nussmeier going up first. We're going to have A.J. Swan coming in, Ricky Collins coming in afterwards. I don't know if that's going to be any indicative measure of the quarterback 2 race. I think we're still, in the thick of it here. We'll keep you updated on it, but check out this throw coming up. Nussmeier after this run. It's a pretty big look to Chris Hilton, and I've been enjoying watching Chris Hilton throughout this spring ball. He's high pointing balls. He's a pretty speedy guy. He'll be a hard matchup, but look at that. Going up, going to get one of Nussmeier's tough passes, and I think that this is going to be something you see all year long. And, Kyron Lacy got some love today, too. Coach Kelly kind of talked about the fact that, he's one of the guys that you expected to be a leader. Yeah, he's a veteran presence, but, he's been taking that role. And he's been enjoying it. He's been performing. And I think that we're going to have a big year from him. I think he looked great. He had a big catch from Nussmeier earlier on in practice. We weren't able to record it, but, we're no down to be able to mention it just because he's looking good. He's got the surefire confidence. Now, right here, pass from A.J. Swan wasn't exactly the greatest. But I don't want that to be like, the image that people have of him. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. I think he's got some good pocket presence. He's able to put some zip on these passes, and he's probably the quarterback that's going to blend in to Nussmeier's scheme the best. When your backup comes in, your starter comes out, you're going to want that transition to be seamless. Yeah, he overthrew right here to C.J. Daniels, but there's a couple of things that you can fix, you can fine tune with him. He's not in the QB1 position after all, so it's kind of like it will be a work in progress. It won't be perfect, but it's all about getting you from point A to point B whenever an unfortunate injury happens, which God forbid it does, but you're going to have to be able to put yourself in a position to perform hypothetically. Looking at Ricky Collins here, same thing, zip on the passes. The thing with him is the extra mobility. That's going to be his boost. He brings very good skill set to the table. And he'll be able to stretch the defense, kind of not confuse them, but make them wonder what he's going to do, where he's going to go, how to stop him. Ricky Collins is also in a very interesting spot because it's like if Coach Kelly and Coach Sloan don't put all the chips in and, show that they're investing in them, you got to wonder what it looks like to the other recruits. Now, of course, this is a business, and of course, you got to perform and do the right things to be able to get on the field. But all in all, Ricky Reconsidered was one of the bigger moments. Shout out to him, with the mobility right here. That's kind of what we were talking about earlier. But, we'll keep tabs on this situation here and whether or not he'll be the quarterback and whether or not, he sticks around at LSU and develops, which I hope he does. I think he will. Speaking of development, Bo Davis and this defensive line group, it's looked great. I think the pressure has definitely picked up. Coach Kelly said that their best run stopper as of right now, of course, go figure, Jacoby and Gilroy. The best run defensive lineman, of course, right now, Jacoby and Gilroy. We saw a lot of flashes of him throughout the last couple of years, but now he's in that primetime role. Now he's the guy. Now he's the leader. Now he's the one getting everyone tapped in around him. And, with Bo Davis giving him that extra added attention, I think this big year, this NFL-esque season for him, he'll have a lot of eyes. He'll have a lot of things to prove, but, he's quick. He's very smart, very respectful. I think he's going to be someone that you enjoy building your team around, someone that you definitely look toward. This is a piece that, exemplifies everything Coach Kelly's trying to put into these kids during spring. And I kind of talked about that with Coach Kelly, too. I asked him, what's the message? What are you telling the guys? What are you trying to get them to understand throughout the spring process, and how are they receiving it? And he started off by saying, being elite is hard. Being an elite football team, an elite athlete, an elite player, an elite anything, very difficult, and it requires day-to-day effort, day-to-day work, and an insane amount of focus. With that being said, the focus that they, have been putting on is that they're going to be able to utilize this time as a big learning, experience. He said spring football is awesome in the instance where you get to find out exactly where your kinks in the scheme are. You get to see the wrinkles in the team. You get to see the things that you need to fix before it's summer camp, fall camp, and inevitably that season. And a lot of things changed for LSU heading into the spring. You got new coordinators. You know, Joe Sloan is a in-house promotion, but he's still in a new role. And, of course, Blake Baker in a new role. Bo Davis, new role. Corey Raymond, new role. Now, whether or not those be improvements is subjective. I feel like they're improvements. I feel like they have been big additions to the staff, and they've made big changes. And, you know, I've seen the defense grow leaps and bounds. I've also seen the offense grow leaps and bounds under Joe Sloan. And with the added help of Cortez Hankton in his role, the things, you know, I'm most looking forward to seeing is, for starters, let's talk about P.J. Woodland in this cornerback room. P.J. Woodland getting in early. You know, he's not even really a graduated high school senior yet. He graduated early, of course, but his entire class is still in school. They're getting up, getting ready for senior prom on the horizon, and he's over here running with the ones at the cornerback position at LSU. So I feel like that says enough about that young man, and you kind of get to see the future and the potential and the ceiling for someone like P.J. Woodland. And if Corey Raymond's activating these dogs this early, this quick, imagine a full recruiting cycle under him. And let's talk about Major Burns here. Coach Kelly, you know, alongside Kyron Lacey, threw his name in there as a veteran player that you expect to see a lot from. You know, let's talk about Sage Ryan. He went down here. I think it was a cramp. You know, he came back in after missing one period in practice, so that was a pretty good sign, meaning he wasn't banged up too bad. And in the linebacker spots, you know, the spot Blake Baker is specializing in coaching and developing right now, you've seen a lot of guys coming in and out. The more trending topic of the linebacker room is going to be Harold Perkins being inside. A lot of people are wondering about that, but I like, you know, seeing Major Burns implemented into this room a little bit and seeing him play alongside Greg, play alongside Harold, and complement each other. Major's a very aggressive player, and you could definitely utilize that in that room. You could definitely put him in that scheme to be able to complement his guys around him. And plus, with that communicative ability, that's kind of where you want him. You want him in the middle of the defense. You want him to be able to help everyone around him alongside a guy like Harold Perkins, who's going to, you know, not necessarily need a lot of help, but in the beginning of being an inside linebacker, of getting thrown in coverages, you know, he might need some assistance here and there. And what better player to put next to him to assist than Major Burns? Let's take a look at some quarterback throwing motions here. You know, we heard some comments the other day on Ricky's throwing motion, on his wind-up, and just that whole mechanic ordeal. I don't really find a problem with it. I don't really see anything weird. I think he gets the ball out. He's got a fast throwing motion. He's able to zip one out of there. He's also very mobile. He's also very, very quick on his feet. A.J. Swan, his throwing motion's a lot similar to like a Max Johnson or a Miles Britton. He's a big, tall guy. He's going to be able to stay in that pocket. He's going to be able to have that presence. I think that, you know, someone like him, he's going to model a Nussmeier scheme. He's going to be able to get thrown into the mix and have that transition be seamless. It's kind of what you want from your backup. You don't want confusion. You don't want chaos. You don't want an injury to happen and everyone be running around like a chicken without their heads cut off. You know, you want everybody to be on the same page and all tapped in. All in all, I've seen good things from LSU throughout this spring football camp. For more highlights, for more coverage, for more news, make sure to subscribe to the Verdin Verdict. We'll keep you updated. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another upload. And thanks for watching.